Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome back to another video, and today we meet on my desktop. But wait, there's more. 2 desktops. Now, this is my new dual monitor setup, and I love it a lot. But, how did I get my desktop to look so cool? Now, even before, when I only had one monitor, in my mod installing videos and other videos like that, you might have noticed that I had a clock on my desktop and other things like that. This is a video on how to do it with Rainmeter, and it's also going to include my top 10 favorite Rainmeter themes or skins. Anyway, let's get right into it. Now, here we are, guys, on a fresh installation of Windows, aka a virtual machine, and I'm going to be showing you guys how you can install Rainmeter and do all that funky stuff with it. So, first you're just going to want to click the first link in the description, which will take you to a Rainmeter download site. Now that you are here, you can just click the download final. If there's any betas or anything, I would not recommend them, unless they have some crazy new feature, but let's just download this one, version 4.3.1. Download link in the description, and we're just going to want to run the file that we download. Please select the installer language. Just pick your language. If you're listening to me speak right now, it's probably English. Welcome to the Rainmeter setup, and you're probably going to want to pick standard installation because the shortcuts won't be created and things like that. So you should probably pick the standard installation unless for some reason you're transferring it to a different computer. But yeah, I'm just going to pick the standard installation, press on next, and then you're going to want to pick where you want it to be installed. Now, on my main computer, I install it on the drive that has the most space, and you're going to want to install the 64-bit version. Now, if you have a 64-bit system, and the way you can find that out is just type system information, and right here you can see system type 64-based PC, and it'll either say x32 or x86, and if it's either of those, then you want to uncheck this 64-bit version. But I'm just going to keep that checked because that's what this is, and you're probably going to want to keep launch Rainmeter on startup checked, because then all of your cool customization will pop up when you start up your computer. So let's just press install. And do you want to allow the app to make changes to your device? You're going to want to press yes, and it will just install. And here we go. Rainmeter has been installed on your computer. Click finish and make sure run Rainmeter is checked. And as soon as that happens, you should see some things popping up. You can just minimize your browser now, or I'm just going to close it. And you should see on your desktop all this stuff. What we have, welcome to Rainmeter, and this is all Rainmeter skinning. Now, there's some cool things in the top right corner. We can just right click on this and hit unload, just to get rid of the welcome, because we don't want it on our desktop. But you can see up here we have a nice clock, and it says the date, and it's Friday, and we have some CPU usage, RAM usage, and swap usage. I don't like any of this. We can just unload all of it. And now if we want to get to our menu of different skins that we have, we can just click on this little up arrow here, and then double tap on the Rainmeter logo right there. And it'll pop up this folder where we can see all the different skins that we have installed. But right now, all we have is Illustro, which is the default. And if we hit this arrow, there's a whole bunch of different things that we can add. So let's say we want to put the clock back. Just hit the arrow on the clock. And to add things to your desktop, just run the INI file that comes with it. So here we go. Our clock is back. You can drag them all around, and when you right-click on them, there is an extensive list of features that you can change. But let's just unload that. And we can see we can maybe put up some Google. And Rainmeter skins can do many things, like searching on Google. So if we want to search Minecraft, you can see it will pop up just like that. It can show the time. It can show different stats about your computer, and it's very cool. So, time to pop into the top 10 bit. Number 10 on this list, and by the way, this list is in no particular order, but number 10 is VisBubble. In the first link in the description, it'll say number 10, VisBubble, and it'll take you to this page right here, where you can press on this little download link right here, and select on free, and download. Now it'll pop up VisBubble round Rainmeter.rm skin. Now if you have Rainmeter installed, you can just open that up, press on install, and it'll do its thing. And now we can minimize the browser again, and if we double tap on the Rainmeter logo, we can see it'll pop up. But now, instead of just having Illustro, we'll have VisBubble as well. If we open this up, there's a whole bunch of different versions that we can run. So, let me get on some music quick, and let's do it. So, here we are, we got a nice song on, and if we pick one of these and press on load, we can load different versions. So let's see which one we want. Let's first pick Wave. You can see a nice circular visualizer that will bounce and tune to your music. Say we don't like that one. What about Wave Filled? Ooh. Or Wave Stereo. This one, I have no idea why it's yellow or why it's any different than Wave, but I guess it just is. And then, my favorite is Bar Extrude, which will just show these little bars all around. And you can edit all of this just by right-clicking on it and going into Settings. It will pop up a settings window, and you can change all of them. So, if we want maybe more bars, and maybe we want it more sensitive, then we can change all of that here. And what if we want it to be gradient? Sure. This is not how I would customize it if it was for myself, but you can do whatever you want with this. Next is one that works really well with VisBubble, and this is called Snowflower. This is a very nice clock, and as you can see by the screenshot, it is circular, which again complements VisBubble very nicely because you can make it go around the circle. To download this one, just come to the second link in the description and press on download. It will take you to this link. You can press on download, and here you have it, snowflower.7z. Now you're going to need 7-zip or pzip or WinRAR to open this. I have WinRAR, so I can just open this one up. And this one isn't an RM skin, so it's a little less convenient. And this is how you used to have to do it before the RM skin became a thing. If we just open up this Manage Settings again, and we right-click on either the Illustro or the VisBubble or any other skins you have installed and press on Open Folder, and then go back one to Skins, you can see we have all of our skins. Now, what we need to do is just come from inside this and drag the Snowflower into here. Inside of it, it has all the files that you will need, meaning that you can exit this out, refresh all, and you'll see Snowflower appears. We can also close this. Now, what Snowflower does, as you probably saw, is it makes a nice clock which goes nicely in the center of your screen. Now this is what I used to use as my desktop clock, and it's very nice. And if we open up VisBubble and we turn back on our music, we can see that if we put it around this, go back into the settings, and then make the radius smaller, we can have it fit around this quite nicely. And I'm not going to be doing that right now, so I'll just leave it at that. And let's go for some more cool features of Snowflower. Not only does it have the clock, but it also has a launcher, which if we load, we'll see it will pop up here. Now, I don't like the look of this at all, really, but basically whenever you hover over it, you can see it says Chrome right there, and then that'll open up Dragon Nest, don't even know what that is, Photoshop, Music, whatever that is, Sublime Text, and Paint. Now, if you click on them, some of them will work, some of them won't. On here, it doesn't really seem that any of them are working, and it's sort of ugly to me, so I'm just going to unload that. But there's also some system stats. Now, the top one is CPU, and the bottom one is RAM, and I feel like that goes nicely right there. Beautiful. The next one is called Honeycomb. We can download this the same way we downloaded the first one, and launch it the same way we launched the first one, in the form of an RM skin file. Just press install once again, and minimize your browser window, double click on that Rainmeter, and here you go. You have another new one, Honeycomb. If you open this one up, there is a whole bunch of folders. These are all different programs that you can add. Now what this makes is a nice little launcher. So let's put in Chrome. You can see a nice little icon has appeared that we can drag anywhere, and if we click it, it'll open Chrome. Now, let's put in, how about Minecraft? Now I know I don't have Minecraft on this system, but here's Minecraft, and this is a different icon that you can have. So it's whichever one you like. And they fit nicely beside each other because they're hexagons. Music. Maybe Notepad. And this is what I use on my desktop through the middle to get a nice launcher. Also, another little quick tip. If, for example, Chrome didn't launch Chrome, which sometimes it does, all you have to do, find out where Chrome is installed. So if you go into your File Explorer and then go into your Apps folder, mine is the local disk, Program Files, and then Google, Chrome, and here it is. But if you install it elsewhere, what you can do is just right-click on the Chrome, hit on Edit Skin, and right here, you'll see left mouse up action. Then you just want to type the path to wherever your file is. Next up on the list is called Fountain of Colors. Now, this one is another cool visualizer, which actually is on my desktop, which I didn't actually show off, but it's pretty cool. And there is actually a bug that I've seen where on my machine it doesn't actually work on the latest version. The version that it works on for me, and I'll leave a link to both of these, is one from the 28th of November 2016. Now, if we download this one, we just have to click on fountainofcolors.rmskin right here, and it will download. Then it should always work for you, but you can try the latest version as well if you want. I'll include both of them in the description. Now, as soon as you load it up, you should see this little window. But what about the actual visualizer? We have to play music for it to show up. And here it is, our beautiful, beautiful visualizer. Let's say we want to put it just against the bottom of the screen, just like this. Now, we can increase the number of bars, but there is this glitch on this version where it will just set to -1. Now, the way that we can fix that is we can right-click on it and click on Edit Variables. And then you're going to want to open it with Notepad, and it will show a whole bunch of different files. But if we look down, we should be able to find our bands. And here it is. It's set to -1, and for some reason it always does that. Let's say we want to set it to 100. Just save that. And then what you want to do is just open the Rainmeter dialog again, go into Fountain of Colors, generate bands, and then run it. Now, as you can see, it has 100 bands instead of the default, which I'm pretty sure is 80. But it still doesn't take up my entire screen, so let's set it to 130. Then we have to run generate bands again, and there we go. Now it takes up my entire screen. Everything else that I've found pretty much works perfectly. So let's say we want to up the sensitivity a little bit. I have my sensitivity set to the highest it can go, but if you want to make it higher, you can adjust it in this variables. Also, we can change the color. So let's make the color nice to look just like Windows. You can also pick wallpaper colors. Now I'm going to pick this color, taskbar color. Even though it appears black, for some reason it does have a color, and usually it's this default Windows blue. And I like this so much that I think I'm just going to keep it for the rest of the video. Next up on the list is called Flat and Blurry. Now it is a really cool thing to add different system stats. Link in the description will take you to this website where you can just press download and then run the rmskin file, as always. Once it's installed, we can open back up that useful Rainmeter dialog, open up Flat and Blurry, and you'll see a whole bunch of folders that we can use to make things appear. So let's say we want to see the battery. Load it up, and here it shows. Now it says 100%, and it'll always say 100% charging because I'm on a desktop. If you were on a laptop, it would work properly. Let's just unload that and load the CPU back up. So we can see that, and we can also load up how free the C drive is, maybe we want to show the music playing, but this only works with things like Spotify and not YouTube. So I'm going to unload that because I always use YouTube to play my music. Network stats, RAM, the date and time even, uptime of your computer, and the weather, which does not work properly right now, but if you right click on it, press on Edit Skin, and then scroll down, it'll show xml.weather.com, but if you change it to wxdata instead, save it, and refresh the skin, it works. And then you also have to type in your weather code. Now the way you can do that is to search up a weather code finder. And here we go, weather.codes, and then you enter your location. So let's say I live in Brazil. Brazil, United States of America. And you can see a little code, copy it, and then click on this little settings wheel, type in the weather code, and then select what you want. And now you can see it's 70 Fahrenheit, mostly cloudy in Brazil. Next up on the list is a very useful countdown timer that I also used in my setup. Link in the description, we can just download it and open up the file. Once it is done downloading, hit install, and voila, you'll have a very useful countdown timer on your desktop. Now to edit the settings of this, you're just going to want to right click on it and hit options. Then a big options dialog will appear. Now if you want to change when it counts down to, just click on it once and we'll set the date to, for example, the 30th of May 2090, and we hit start, and here we go, 68 years. Now you can also change it, so maybe it'll just round up to the minutes and not count seconds, or maybe it will just show seconds. Wow, that is a lot of seconds. And you can move this around as well, and there's a whole bunch of different things that you can do with this. We can make it bigger, we can make it smaller, we can change the font. Whoa. Also, we can change the colors. So let's set the outline maybe to black. And now we have a nice black outline. Next up on the list is Spectrum. Now, this is a really cool launcher, but it pretty much takes up your entire desktop, so you have to be dedicated. I don't use this one personally, but it's still really cool. So let's just download it and open it when it's complete. Here we go. We can press install and just wait, minimize, and then open up your Rainmeter configuration again. Now, if we load it, and if we load a launcher group and the mainframe as well, then we have a nice dock. Now, this is highly customizable, but right now we can just have it launch Photoshop, or maybe After Effects, GitHub, Undertale, all sorts of different games that you may or may not have. Now, I don't have much experience with this one, so I'm just going to leave you guys to search it up. And if you want to actually access your taskbar and things, you can just press the Start button, and you can see your Start menu. Next up on the list is the Interactive Dock for Rainmeter by Not Finch. Now, again, link in the description. We can just hit download and install it. Once it's installed, you can see it will open this really cool looking dock. Now if you want to edit it, just right click on it and go to setting file. You'll also want to open the list file. First, let's go with the settings. Now, we can change whether we want it vertical or horizontal. Let's make it horizontal. So 0 for horizontal dock and 1 for vertical. Let's save that. And direction, that means the direction that it will open. So the way that you have to refresh this one is you actually have to go to a dock and then refresh. on there. You can't just right click and refresh. Now you see it's horizontal. And you see it opens and closes from the bottom. What if we set it to 0 and then refresh? You can see that everything will come out from the middle, and when it disappears, it'll still go to the bottom, but when it's actually loading, it will come out of the middle. If you set it to -1, it will do the top, and those are all the different values you can put in there. Now, the expand shows the size multiplier of how big it should get when you hover over it. Let's set it to 5 and see how it looks. You can see everything gets enormous as we hover over it, and if you set to 1, then you're very boring, because when you hover over it, absolutely nothing will happen. I'm just going to keep this one at 2. And now there's a couple others that you can pick, such as divider. Let's set it to 2, and that will half the animation speed. As you can see now, everything goes a lot faster. I personally am just going to keep it the way that it is, just to keep it nice. And then auto hide. I would personally like to keep this off because it's sort of annoying to have to hover over it each time you want it. And now you see everything stays. Now, what if we want to change what's actually on it? Like maybe we don't want Unity. Well, the way that you can actually do that is just come into this list file, and then if we look for Unity, I cannot find, here it is, unity.exe. Now, if we don't want this, we just remove it, and then be sure to set everything back to the way it was. It's a tedious process, but it's one that you have to do when you're editing. Now, as you can see, if we save that and we refresh the dock, Unity is gone. Also, up here, you can show how many it'll show. Now, there's 11 in here, but right now it's only set to show 10. So if we set it to say 11, and now we refresh, it will show all of the icons, including the settings icon. Now, number 2 on the list even has its own website. It is called NXT-OS, and it is very cool. It is a beautiful yet functional skin suite for Rainmeter. Just press on download, and open the RM skin. This will completely take control of all your Rainmeter skins and make everything super cool. It takes a while to install too. It doesn't even feel like Windows anymore once you've installed this. So welcome to NXT-OS 3. This is actually even an installer for this. So if we hit the full install, and then you click the music player, so let's pick Spotify. Click your location, so we're going to stick with Brazil. Colombia, sure. And we hit continue. We can set it to Celsius or Fahrenheit, and we can pick 24-hour time. Let's just keep that. Click on continue, and the username, we are Mod Monster. And then it asks if you want to use one of the included wallpapers. Now, the wallpapers are very nice and they match the theme. My favorite one of all is this one. And as you click on them, it will show, so we can pick different ones. Any wallpaper. I'm going to go with this one. Just press on continue, and you're all set. When you hit finish, this cool loading is going to come up. Just shows the NXT-OS, and it loads up. And whoa! Welcome to NXT-OS. Now, there's a whole bunch of different things you can configure. And let's just close that out quick. Now, what you might have noticed, if you have icons on your desktop, they might be annoying. Right here, it just doesn't look right. What you can actually do is if you right click on the desktop and hit view, you can turn off show desktop icons, and now it's gone. So everything can be super nice. But now, what if we want to customize? Now, if we right click, we can click the dock settings, and this has an extensive dock menu and every kind of menu. Let's make Chrome quickly, and let's find the file path, and we can go to program files. As I was saying, it's Google, and then Chrome, application, and Chrome.exe. If we hit OK, it'll appear in here, and you can use any other icon as well just by clicking on it and then clicking on the icon, and you can change that as well. And there's a whole bunch of default ones. Let's set it as Chrome and press on OK. Now if we click on it, you can see it'll open up Chrome. Also, NXT-OS, if we unload that settings quickly, you can also see up here there's a little menu. We can turn on the visualizer to be on. So now if we play music, sort of like the Snowflower and the VisBubble, it will appear around here. Also, if we go to the settings, there's a whole bunch of different things we can change. Like what about the visualizer? We can set the style to be all different based on however you like it. Let's just pick bars and set the number of bars to 100. If you want to get back your previous skins and layouts, just pop into the Rainmeter folder and then up here layouts. Now at backup, if you hit load, it will load it. But the only way you can do this is you have to actually uninstall this first, or else it will just load itself. Now the way you uninstall things in Rainmeter is you right click on them, hit open folder, go back one, and you can see all the different skins. So we want NXT-OS and NXT-OS data if you never want to use it again, or just NXT-OS if you might come back, and we delete them. Once they're deleted, it'll say that it can't open because they're being used in another program. So then we just want to close Rainmeter, right click on it and hit exit, and then try again, and it'll all be deleted. Now we can launch Rainmeter back up. Not Paint, I meant Rainmeter. And then we can close out this folder, and once it's back, open up this, go layouts, backup, and hit load. Now my old visualizer that I had before is back, and your desktop background will stay the same from NXT-OS, so you'll have to change that manually. Number 1 is called Limit. Now Limit is super cool, and I'm just going to install it so you guys can see. Now, if we head into here, open it up, and go to Limit, there's a whole bunch of different things you can do, similar to the Flat and Blurry. Let's say we want to put in time. Let's put in the clock and the date. What these actually show is they fill up as time goes on. So this 01, the hour, is filling up as the hour goes on. And the 16, the minute, is filling up as the seconds go on. Same with this. And everything that it has in this pack does that. So if we put in system, it'll show everything including the battery, and it will fill up based on how much it's using. And music, it's a music player. Again, you need Spotify or something for it to work, but it will fill up based on how close the song is to being done. If you put all of it together, you can have a super cool desktop. Now, as you can see, with the visualizer that I just added, my desktop looks pretty much complete. I love it, and everything on my desktop right now is mentioned in this video as a skin. So you can see I have the limit right here, the countdown timer here, I have the fountain of colors visualizer in the back, the honeycomb right here, and the flat and blurry over here, as well as over here, but it seems to have thought that it was a good idea to run away. So anyway guys, that is it for this video. I'll see you in the next one. Sub to Mod Monster. Goodbye!